Hello and welcome to A Ghost in the Magazine. I'm Steph.
I'm
I'm
Sadie.
Mel.
I was gonna say fight to the death.
Sorry. I'm Sadie.
And I'm Mel.
And okay, we're starting Black History Month, so we're gonna pop off really quick with bones and all. And I am probably gonna have to fight for my life and defend myself in this episode, but I'm prepared to do so, and I've been prepared since it came out.
Oh, I was literally watching it last night and I was like, Steph has some fucking explaining to do. Like
Some
immediately.
serious explaining
I
to do.
always
Some
come,
serious
I
explaining
always
to
come ready to
do.
explain myself, okay? And that's how I've won L over a lot of times on this podcast. But
Right.
she's not here. So
Fair enough. It's just us. I'm not saying that I didn't like the movie. It was a little slow for me to get into, but I did enjoy it. There was just like so much of it. I'm just like, what? What the fuck?
okay, listen. This is the first movie for Black History Month, and the last movie I saw both of these movies for pre-screens. Like I saw
Right.
them early before anybody else. When I
Mm,
saw this movie, this is the beginning of my argument. I was in
mm,
a very emotionally vulnerable position, okay? I had been soft rejected by a boy who I was so sure was my soulmate, and literally he was supposed to come with me to this movie.
mm.
I was like, it's fine, we can be friends. And he was like, I have to work. And I was like, it's okay. God, I hope he doesn't listen to this. And yeah, so after this movie, I didn't want to go home. So I went over to his house and watched him play video games and fell asleep in his bed. And the whole time, I just have all of these feelings. So this movie just fucked me up. Respectfully.
Bones and all the feelings.
Yep.
See, and I have the opposite response, but that's because like I'm in the middle of I'm
Yeah.
sick of love things, so all the love scenes I'm sitting here and I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like I don't care.
Facts. And
Fucking
like
girl,
currently
leave him, please.
you got I just have so many feelings.
I have so many.
Now I'm
So
in a like a healthy functional relationship, so it didn't really hit me as hard, but the end of this movie is still messed up, okay?
it really is. And I feel like the beginning isn't all that great either. I think my first thought was that big ass chunky sweater that she was wearing for one. I was like, where'd you get that? I need that in my life. But is her dad like just fucking left her. Just was just dipped. Just dipped out.
You know what? He should have done it earlier if he was going to do it, honestly.
Right. He waited until like the last minute. He's like, well, she's 18 now, so it's not my fucking problem. I'm like, all right, well, that sounds like my daddy. But like, that's not the point. Like, this girl doesn't know anything about her mom. She doesn't know anything about what's wrong with her or not wrong with her, whatever. And like, you
Oh,
leave
there
her a
was
tape.
something wrong with her, all right.
Well,
This
yeah.
scene,
But it's like you leave a tape and then you're just like, figure it out yourself. Hope you don't get murdered in the countryside. Like, what the fuck?
I think he thought that because she, spoiler alert, eats people, that she
Mhm.
could fend for herself and like she would be fine, you know?
Right.
Says
She,
the
yeah,
one who covered up all the
connived
murders
ways.
she did as a kid.
She, she was tricky with her people eating. He said that she had gotten clever with it. So
Mm.
Right. Starting from 3 years old. And so like that has to take I'm trying not to shit on the dad too hard because it was a shit sandwich, you know. He
Yeah.
got it from his wife and he didn't know until,
Mm.
it was too late. He was already married and she was pregnant. And
Mm.
then, she did what she did and bounced and left him with a people eating baby. That would stress me the fuck out, just saying.
I
Um,
don't know how he didn't just like end it right then and there at a 3-year-old. I'd be like, all right, well, child went missing. I don't know.
so
Like,
that can be like argued that that would be like a plausible thing that maybe a lot of people might do like that, but he didn't,
mm.
so
Just
I'm not
locked her in
too
her room all the
mad
time, and
and
that's
he didn't lock her in her room. Her window was unlocked, and that
at
was
it.
the softest lock I'd ever seen. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't
that had to be so stressful seeing her come back home covered in blood. Like, bitch, you didn't. We just got
know.
here.
That's
You
what he said. You didn't. You did not. And I was like, yeah, she fucking
did.
did at a sleepover in front of other
Ruined
people.
a beautiful moment. Let's be real. Like
Right.
she could
That
have
was a
just let
super
that
cute
he
gay moment. And then you
you know
just, the
that,
way
that
she slid the skin off the bone of her finger made me just wince a little bit. I was like, I didn't need to see that much
But
detail.
before that, the chick was totally fine with having her finger sucked. So she could have went with that and had a really good thing going. But she had to go, get her nom on.
Yeah, you could tell that like this could have been a cute little relationship. She clearly liked
Yeah,
her.
that's why I put it in the
No.
background because, like, look at that girl's face.
Yeah, it's like so homoerotic at that moment, and then it's instantly shattered by
Her
flesh.
chopping her entire finger off.
Well,
So
not the entire finger. She left a bone. She just, peeled the skin off of it.
I didn't look too hard. Okay. I didn't
I,
really Bleh. I didn't go to those kinds of slumber parties.
I didn't
I,
either, but I was also a reclusive
No.
weirdo,
I
so
went those kinds. I just never like did the chewing part. So
did not. Got it.
Heard. Um,
Heard.
so yeah, but I mean, like, he leaves her some money, he leaves her a tape explaining. He didn't leave her high and dry. I understand her being pissed, but at the same time, like, I can't keep cleaning up bodies, Marin. So
Right.
she takes off on a bus, right?
Hmm.
And when she gets to the bus station, this man literally makes me want to jump out of my
I
skin.
fucking
yeah,
hate Sully. That's
Sully,
one of my notes. That is the creepiest fucking dude I've ever seen in my life.
and they had to show him in his tidy whities. I'm
I
not.
hated that scene. It was just the way he approaches her, the way he talks, the way he dresses doesn't make any fucking sense. And just like, and she goes with him. And I'm like, girl, stay the fuck away from this man.
Honestly, I can
Mhm.
understand why she went with him.
I get why she did, but like my fight or flight instinct would not let me go anywhere near fucking a guy who only refers to himself in the third person. Something's
We
not
didn't
right
really
up
know
here.
that yet. And we don't eat people. So I think that they have
Yeah.
different sense.
To be fair, he did teach her some stuff she didn't know.
you know,
But
it's kind of like typical, addict behavior though. Like you want to do
Yeah.
drugs with other people, you want to do whatever your
like,
addiction choices with other people. I'm kind of with her. I would have let him go through all that, ate the chick and ran away too. I mean,
Yeah.
you got fix.
yeah.
So
You want to come meet this almost dead old lady with me? I know we just met.
Yeah, I
yeah,
guess.
Sully was the only one looking like he was eating good. Honestly, one of my biggest problems with this movie is like nobody looks like they're eating the bones and all. Like you need to eat a few
Hmm.
more people. Like everybody looks super hungry.
Except for Sully, and I think that's like I liked his approach sort of to as much as he is weird and as much as he creeps me out. He's like, I don't kill people. Like I will wait for someone who is clearly dying
Nice.
or whatever and deal with that. I mean, I don't know how that turns up when people want to go find their loved ones. There's the old people, but braid of hair, I feel like that's just a little extra. That's a little much.
Well, he's been on his own for like literally 100 years because he's 130 years old. And
Jesus.
no, he didn't say his age. He just looks 130.
I
So
was gonna
I'm
say.
assuming. But yeah, I can only imagine what like my MO would be if I had this disease or whatever it is, like this genetic anomaly where I have to eat human flesh. I can only imagine what it would be. I feel like I would just be like a forest lady and I would like eat
Yeah.
campers and people lost in the woods or something like that and make a local legend of myself.
I
Am I
do
a myth or am
wonder,
I a
have
disease?
any of them attempted just eating like a raw cow? Would that fulfill the same purpose, or
Ate
does it?
tons of regular food too.
Yeah, they eat tons of regular food too. So
Yeah. So I don't really know. I would love the mechanics, like the mechanic manual
yeah,
for
I think that's the one thing that bothered me about this movie is like I get that it is just what it is, but like I want to know why they have to do this. Like, is there some reason? Why is it only people?
yeah,
Like what's going on there?
they just add a little bit more mystery later when you meet the eater and his like um
Like friend.
people whore. Yeah, like the one who eats people just because.
Hmm.
And he's human and he doesn't have to. And I'm like, how did you choke flesh down? Like, did you grill it? Because if you ate it raw, that's what? No, you didn't. Don't lie.
And
Right.
they're talking about it's impossible. We don't have the teeth for that.
We
Right.
don't.
You don't
And
have the stomach for that. You'd get so many different diseases just from
oh
eating
yeah.
human flesh alone when that's not what you're designed to do. Like that is so goddamn weird, and I don't believe that that's what you're doing. Like,
Not in a Sweeney Todd pie. I don't believe you ate it.
right? Unless you grilled it up like a steak, like shut up. But even then, it's still like, mm-mm.
Yeah. So she leaves Sully. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see the rest of it coming when I watched it in the movie theater. So
Mhm.
she's out and about and then she comes across Lee and he eats the guy who's like shitty in the grocery store and he's very nonchalant and is like, oh, the rest of his half-eaten corpse is in there if you like want some. And she inserts herself in his business and is like, hey, I'm Marin.
Mhm.
We both eat people. I'm
I
gonna
need
follow you.
help. Right.
And
She
he's like,
also was like, I need a man.
Right. I'm
yeah.
with
And I'm just like,
you.
I
Please,
guess that's
though?
one way to get a boyfriend. Um,
That's Sully.
That oh my God.
I can't with Sully. He
I
is
can't. What put me off so much is like I get that you've been alone for so long, but like this girl is clearly like fresh out of high school. I feel like maybe this isn't the one you should be going after. It's a little weird.
okay. I'm literally gonna skip ahead because I can't not talk about it. Her
Right.
and me are together. Okay, he's got a fucked up family life. Of course he does. He eats people. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
His dad ate people too, and his dad tried to eat him, and he killed the shit out of him. Okay. Understandable. All that's understandable. But he's harboring all that guilt, so he's a tortured mullet boy with cropped sweaters. And that's his
A
thing.
bird
He
chest.
likes it. I
Mhm.
don't like it. It is what it is. But so like they're navigating being people eaters, but also like young love and like who are we as individuals and people. And she does track down her mom after her bitch grandma. I'm sorry, that was rude.
No, it wasn't. Her grandma's a bitch.
But
To
I
be fair, she's been through some shit, but like this girl clearly
she
is lost.
adopted her. The grandma
Yeah.
adopted a girl who eats people. That's got to be more traumatic than just organically having one, I think.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, like, that's not Marin's fault. And she's like, I didn't even know my mom. I didn't know this about her at all. I'm just looking for her. You didn't have to like lead with she's dead when she's not. Like, that's rude.
She said she's no longer with us.
That's fair. But how else would you take that?
Facts, but that's what she was hoping on, the ambiguity. Let me just be a little viggity vague. Maybe this crazy girl will get out of my house.
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
me,
I get it.
oh
You know,
God.
I just fucking get it. So the mom is institutionalized, and when Marin gets there, the mom
Hmm.
doesn't have any hands because she ate them. She ate her own hands off.
She ate her own hands.
It was so
I,
bleak. Her just seeing her mom was the bleakest fucking thing of this whole movie ever. I was just like, Jesus Christ. Like,
There's the question about could they just eat a cow though? Like if they're cannibalistic to the point where they have to consume even their own flesh, then
mhm.
yeah,
yeah, they
it is.
I'm
probably
guessing
can't.
a cow ain't gonna cut it. You're probably
I
right.
genuinely, especially because of the end, I think that I think it's like a reflex drive almost, like when the hunger is activated, like they can't not do it.
Hmm.
Um,
Like
uh,
vampire kind of deal.
yes,
Or
I
like pica, but for human flesh. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I never had that, so I don't know if like, oh, I don't know. I've eaten some weird stuff. Never mind.
fair enough.
I
It
don't know.
it's
I just
definitely
felt so bad. It's like, and then she gets this letter, and then like she's there. She's like, I finally found my mom, and then her mom tries to fucking kill her. Like, Jesus criminy.
yeah.
Is that not some trauma or what? First, you see
They
her doped to hell, like she can't even talk. She ate her own hands, and
tons of trauma. They could have changed the title of this movie to like the trauma bond dinner club. Like there was
basically,
trauma.
They
it's
should
just,
have made
yeah,
me a
that's
lot of things,
crazy. I
actually.
did like the little shout out, like, because movies are never in Minnesota, but I'm like, why'd you have to put her crazy ass hand eating mom in Minnesota? Like, don't do that to me. That's not fair.
Watch out.
I
Well, I
won't.
mean, I don't feel bad because they said a whole Grand Theft Auto game after Miami.
Fair
So
enough.
I, I live in Vegas, so I got nothing. There's a lot of,
So many.
all the stories are true.
Yeah.
Yeah, also the stories about Florida Man, them shits actually happened. So
Mm,
Minnesota can take a little something.
it's
Yeah.
fine. I'm saying it's fine. We don't eat people here. At least I don't. But I don't know about everybody.
Overall, the movie wasn't scary. That was my biggest thing. It
No,
wasn't terrifying, but it was very grotesque. So
yeah.
Yeah, it was
that,
grotesque bad.
but
That's what I thought.
the romance. I'm with Steph, kind of with all the feels. So all in all, I would say this is a romance
Yeah.
gore.
It's a
Yeah.
horror romance, and
It's
I've
like
said
eroticizing cannibalism, which is like very in right now. You know?
Goremance. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't even feel that way. It felt
I
more
did at the end when I
cool,
like,
but
yeah.
When
Hmm.
she eats him. Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah, but
That
you
was
guys,
definitely
You're
erotic.
telling me that wasn't cannibalism erotica right there, where he's like,
It
please just
was.
eat me. And she's like sensually doing something. Don't lie to me, Steph.
Like,
Like,
out first with the
yeah.
blood.
well,
And then
yeah, because that's the love of her life, and he's dying, and they've just been brutally attacked by Sully. Okay, it's devastating. I didn't think it was erotic at all. I was crying.
I mean,
That's
as a metaphor, just being eaten by your lover, like, I don't
like,
know.
isn't that like the poet's curse? It's like the love of to consume and be consumed. That's eroticism.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Well,
Mhm.
I could probably see that when I watch it while I'm not on my period.
That's fair enough. I'm not saying it wasn't sad. I did feel really bad. And if we go
It
back to the
was.
fact that, like, back to that point where she realizes Sully's been following her that whole
Let's talk
time.
about that. Okay?
Yeah.
Because
Hmm.
after she sees her mom, she's
Hmm.
I really was on her side. I was very much team Marin. I'm not team Lee, but I like them together.
Right.
It was just too much for her. She's like,
Hmm.
I gotta get the heck out of here. She leaves his money and she takes off. She needed some Marin time. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it. I totally get it, and I support her in that. So she's, you know, out and about by herself again, and this MF pulls his abductor man up
Yeah.
next to her and tries to start this casual conversation. And she's so calm with him, talking to him like he's a toddler. And the
Hmm.
grace that she has, because I would be screeching in his face, ready to like murder
Right.
him.
Why are you following me? You've been following me for weeks. Like, no, I'm not getting in this van with you. Stop referring to yourself in the third person, goddamn weirdo. Like, what is going
Right.
on?
He's been following her this whole time and only didn't make his presence known because Lee was around.
Right.
I'm just like, that's scary because he's watching everything and they're like boning in the water.
Did he watch Lee
Like,
give that guy a handy in the cornfield?
I'm sure he saw it all. I'm sure Kelly was writing a book and was like, damn, why is that not me?
That was the scene where I started cursing you. I was like, I don't know if I can watch this. I'm like, this man is given a handy in the woods about to murder him. Like, I can't do this. Like,
Well, on top of
That was.
everything, I also just glossed over the fact that they met other eaters in the woods and they were telling this story also flippantly because who meets strangers and just starts popping off about all the people that they killed and like
right.
their life
When
story.
that guy pulled up, I'm like, it's always the fucking weird hillbillies. They gotta have at least one set in these movies. And here we
Lindsay
go.
would agree. Lindsay would agree. It's always the hogs doing the
Mm-hmm.
dumb shit. So like all of this is just like a lot of it's just a lot. And then Sully pops up. And I'm just saying the way I would have murdered him instantly. I'll murder an old man. I don't care.
Yeah, like I know his rule is don't eat an eater, but I'm like, that man is not going to leave you alone. He's
He,
not.
those rules are only for, they're designed for his purpose. As soon as
Mhm.
he's not getting what he wants, then it's
So he's
over.
so he's a narcissist. Got it. It's just weird. But that was my thing too. It's like with I don't understand how I know he's been alone for so long, but you're telling me you have come across no other eaters and talked to anyone else and
I don't
eaten
believe
in
that.
front of them or any of that? I don't believe that.
No, I think they just didn't make a connection because he told her when
Mhm.
she politely and eloquently rebuffed his advances, he said, "Fuck you, Missy," and then yelled, "You dumb cunt."
Mhm.
Well, who you, Sully? And he said, I, I think he said I dried off next to you, and I never did that with anybody else. In his tiny
I was
white
like,
hand.
I didn't ask you to. Like, you could have stayed in the room. I don't know. That language, that was just funny to me. I laughed at that part because that's not what I expected to come out of that man's mouth just because of the way he's been talking the entire time. And then out of nowhere, he's just like, you dumb cunt. And I'm like, Jesus, Sully. Oh my God.
No, those kinds of guys never take rejection,
The
That's fair.
yes.
But it just, yeah, that skeeved me out when you figure out he's following her. And then she kind of just lets that be because you think he leaves. But like, I didn't trust that he left her alone for a second, you
Mm-mm.
know?
No.
I didn't at all, but I also just didn't expect
Hmm.
what happened after. Like I didn't think Sully had that level of balls. Honestly, I didn't. Like he
Hmm.
followed her and whatever, but I just really didn't think. I didn't think, but he. I don't know. Um, they tried to live a normal life and get jobs in a little cute place together. They were very cute and domestic, and
Hmm.
it never lasts.
No, yeah, that part kind of broke me because I was like, oh, they have everything. And here comes fucking Sully. God damn it.
Okay, sorry, no.
Mhm.
They did a bad job of killing him. That was kind of my last bit, but
Yeah, that took way too long.
yeah,
Terrible job of killing him. I will never argue against that. It was bad. It was inefficient. And if they had been better, Lee didn't have to die. Like
right.
Yeah.
just
Got stabbed.
yeah, right in the neck from the back. Yeah.
Yeah, a
Like he
parry.
did in the cornfield. Like, what was all this extra stabbing and plastic bagging and all this shit? Like, Lee might not have gotten stabbed had they just killed him efficiently the first time.
Right, right.
Mhm.
He wouldn't have. Not to shame the dead guy,
Yeah.
but it was just so sad. I'm like, my thing was like, damn, she has to start over. And like all she has is this big bag of sadness, and like
Mhm.
she can't marry a regular guy.
She'll eat him.
She'll eat
Yeah.
him.
I mean, she lucked out with Sully's bag. He had a few wallets in there and stuff. So, I mean, like, she
Okay, so his
definitely.
dad was really fucking sad because also why did he have to kill Lee's sister? That was fucked up. That was
Yeah. Like that, what I can understand too why at the end he's like, don't even try to save me. Because, like, he had expressed earlier in the movie that the only reason he was alive was because of his sister.
Hmm.
And he didn't want to, like, leave her behind after eating his dad. But, like, you know. It's just like y'all can't have shit in this movie. And that was just the
oh
overall theme is like we can't have shit. I'm so
no, and
sorry.
normally I hate movies like that. But I
Yeah.
think I just have this like I don't know, I have this like I don't know, there's something wrong with me. There's
No, this one I think it plays to that like really well because like when you have some disorder or whatever condition like this, like there really is no winning. Like you have to eat to survive, but like to do that, you have to do some pretty terrible fucking things. And like if you want to believe in the universe and karma, like does it mean that it's fair that everything works out for you where you have to take people away from their families or whatever to live?
Oh, speaking of, yeah, the cornfield thing.
Yeah.
They didn't do any fucking research on this guy at all.
No.
So for her to get pissed at Lee because oh this guy we ate has a family, he didn't know just like you didn't fucking know.
He's like, there's no ring. He was
That
looking
was
on
literally
Jack.
a hate crime. He targeted that guy because he was gay. That
Yeah,
was
he
a hate.
knew. He knew
Yeah,
that's how it was gonna work. And it's just like, okay,
yeah.
that's not nice. I'm
Okay, guys,
still mad
I
that he
gotta go.
made it
Actually, I have to
like
get back.
Ah,
So sorry, I'm like 10 minutes late already.
okay.
okay, bye Mel.
Bye.
Uh,
We'll have to do the recording next week earlier.
yeah. Okay, no problem.
Okay, well, I don't know. I love this movie. I want it on DVD. I never want it to disappear. I will watch it
Mhm.
a bunch of times. I really will. Her,
I
I
loved it. I did. I wouldn't say I loved it. I feel like some parts of it were really slow and just like a little bit
sure.
convoluted. Um, And then I think the one scene that I just kind of laughed the most, like I said, is the cornfield scene. But what pissed me off the most is like you drugged this man out here to give him a handy and you didn't even let him finish before you slit his
No,
throat.
he said,
Like how fucking rude.
bitch,
Like how fucking rude. You could have at least let him have that.
don't get to
Like,
finish and you don't get to live.
right. Like I just thought that was mean spirited, but like,
I mean,
whatever.
if I was like jerking a guy off that I knew I had to cut his throat, I would be real anxious. I probably would cut it premature also. You know what I
I
mean?
get that. And I just felt annoyed too because like why did Marin get out of the car? Like why were you in here
She was
watching?
ready to eat.
I get that, but like let the man have a
Angry. No,
minute.
no, she was hungry. I've been there, not like eating a person, but like,
Right.
hey, especially since I started taking my ADHD medication, like most of the time I don't have an appetite. So when it hits, I'm like, I need to eat right now, right now.
Right.
I need a food right now.
No, I get that. And no, yeah, for what the movie was, I did like it. And I think the end kind of confused me just because of the way they chose to end it. Like, did she eat him or not? Like,
She ate him.
okay, so
And
that last thing, was
honestly,
that like a throwback to them?
I think it was like showing after. So it makes you wonder, did she also eat Sully? You know?
She probably did. I mean, like, what were you gonna do with the body? Just let it sit there?
She was
He also tried to kill her, so I really don't blame her if she
She
did.
ate me with love and she ate Sully with hate.
Yeah.
Hate eat you. I
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just that blew my mind when he showed back up like that and just like
It was really scary because he was like, well, okay, so back just to backpedal just a little bit, when he pulled up in the van the first time,
hmm
she was brought up her age. She said, I'm
yeah,
18. He says, like, oh, same age as my daughter if I had one. But she's like, is that what this is? And the way he like
got
leaned
mad.
to look at her, I was like, I would murder you. I would just
Yeah,
murder
no, that's predator behavior. And it's just like,
you.
why would you want anything to do with her in that sense if she would also be the same age as your daughter? I think that's weird as shit. I
It's
get that I get that you two enjoyed a meal together, but like that's the extent of your relationship. She
I've
didn't.
had meals with lots of dudes that I
That's
don't
what I'm saying. Like I go on dates for dinner a lot. Like, what are you talking about? Like the point is like you didn't know anything about her. She didn't tell you that much about her at all. The most you two did was eat together and sleep in the same house, not even in the same areas, and then she left. Like, I don't know what kind of connection you garnered from that other than the fact that
it was a make
you're
believe.
just a loner and a little fucked up in the head at this point.
Yes, it was a make believe connection, and
Mhm.
he just. I guarantee this may be the first person that he's dried off next to, but this is not the first person that he has harbored an obsessive connection with.
Or
And
eating it. Mm.
no, you
Like, I
saw
don't believe it.
that long ponytail. There was a lot of hair in it,
Yeah.
okay? And some of them were from ladies who wouldn't stay with him. I'm telling you.
I believe that absolutely. And just for him to be the one to like take Lee from her, but like to be honest, I feel like Lee was just done when you met him. Like he's just like I don't know what else to do. So
Yes, I think that I do love them together, but I do think that when she met him, he was looking for something to fill the hole. But I do believe that after when they like got their little place, that he had some hope, like
yeah.
and they were doing things to live a fulfilling life. So he was looking
hmm
for things outside of Marin to fulfill him, and he didn't even get that chance. Just
No, he didn't. And fucking Sully ate his sister, and that's like super fucked up.
just makes me so bad.
Like, why her? Why? Why?
Because I think he just wanted to get he just wanted to hurt. That
hmm
he just
I
wanted
get that. It's just like his sister really had no idea what was going on. She just didn't know at all.
that didn't that doesn't matter to monsters.
I know. I get that. I had bad vibes about him from the moment I saw him. I just didn't know what kind of bad vibes to expect. You know what I mean? And like every either they met along the way equally had bad vibes,
Mhm.
but from the hillbillies, you kind of expected them to just be fucking weird, just from the way they rolled up with beer and the shit they were talking about. But like with Sully, he comes off as just like,
I want to
I'm
help.
just a skittish little weirdo and I just want to help you. But he's
Yeah,
insidious as shit. He's just been following this poor girl across the country. Like, Jesus Christ,
All
that's
right,
crazy.
the final thoughts for Bones and All.
Final thoughts, very gory, very homoerotic in a lot of different senses, and I don't dislike that about it. I'm not gonna say that I'm on like the Timothée Chalamet bandwagon like at all, but I did like him in this movie. I think he did this role really well. Even though at times I was just like, all right, bro, shut up. We get it, you're tortured. But
He's
I
very,
did like it. And like overall, it's cohesive while still being really ambiguous, but not ambiguous to the point that it pisses me off, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I want to be very clear for my final thoughts. I'm not on the Timothée Chalamet bandwagon. I'm on
Oh,
the Timothée Chalamet in this movie only.
oh,
And
so it's only this movie.
yeah,
Because there was a moment where he was wearing a top hat, and I was like, look at this Willy Wonka ass
I
motherfucker.
do want to see the Wonka movie, but he's not giving like
No,
attract.
it's not giving none of that. It's just funny to me. But yeah, no, I liked it. I like how it kind of didn't really waste any time getting into everything because I thought when it started the way it was going, I was like, this feels like it's gonna be slow. But no, they really just hopped right in that mess, and
Yeah.
it just
Yep.
keeps going and going and going until the end.
Yep. And
Mhm.
I love it. I'm literally gonna buy it on DVD so that
I wouldn't say I would buy it on DVD, but I will say that I might watch it one more time to see if there's anything that I wasn't paying attention to because of all of the eating people.
yeah, and it looks like oh never mind. Never mind. I'm just stupid. They're under a table.
Yeah, they are.
All right. Well, in the meantime, you can find this podcast on the interweb at ghostinthemagazine.site. You can find it on Twitter at GITM Podcast. Sorry, X. You can find me on X at Which X Pudding.
You can find me on I'm not calling it that at, at Sadie B.
Okay, bye.